Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to a special edition of the Rage Bait Football Podcast, RBFP. And it's a bye week. And let me tell you, this show is going to be better than Justin Timberlake's shows that he just had in Europe. Google that. But I also think he got like a tick infection. I don't understand all these new diseases are spread by ticks. So back in the day, it was just a country song. Let me check you for ticks. I don't know if you've heard that. Court is on the call.
Slander too now.
I
Hey.
sure have. I sure have heard that song.
So if I may make a plea before we get into our conversation with our special guest, QB1 Court Eldridge, is JT, please just stick to voicing over the Trolls movie franchise, because as a girl dad whose girls love that, I need more of those to drop ASAP because I've been watching them on repeat for the past like 6 to 8 months. So please make some more. And speaking of dropping during this bye week, we've got 3 episodes this week. We've got one with Court Eldridge, another one with our kickers. Shout out kickers. I'm trying not to be biased here as a special teams guy. And then also our normal episode with Shrep and Webb and myself. So not 1, not 2, but 3. And that makes me think of LeBron James when they had that infamous Big 3 player introduction down in Miami. You guys remember that? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. But you're going to take my cookies on the plane and I'm going to walk out that door. And that's exactly what LeBron James did when they took his cookies on that flight home. God, that was a terrible idea.
Wild. That's so wild. They're adults. What are you doing taking cookies from adults?
In the king. In the king.
Professional.
Trifling.
So now these 2 gentlemen here with me, as well as Court, these 2 gentlemen have had a very busy past week. They probably rather been on a beach, speaking of South Beach with Miami and LeBron. They've racked up more windshield time than a squash bug in the summer here in Oklahoma. Webb and Shrep, how's it going, boys?
Well, I think it's on the settle now. We're settling in now. It was a little rough. It was a long week, but I think we're settling in now. We're in our houses. We're not moved in, but we're in our houses now. So that's better.
Shrep?
Yeah, it's been a long week, especially coming off Mississippi, straight back to packing everything. And we were thankful to start Friday night, and then like we were going to start Saturday morning. So we got everything packed Friday night, got here, and just glad to be on the downhill slope. After I got moved in, Webb texted me, was like, I need help with 3 things because some of our boys dipped out, and I was like, all right, I'll come over for 3 things. And lo and behold, the U-Haul was still stacked to the top and to the brim. So I was like, I can't not sit here and not do nothing. So I started streamlining stuff and getting it going. And we got to those 3 things. I told Webb, I said, I can't do it no more. He's like, you're all right. Thank you. And now it's just getting everything sorted and enjoying the city life.
Yeah. Shout out to you boys. You've got Chipotle near you, probably 5 within a 25-mile drive time. Congrats. I still got to make it down to Owasso to get mine. And I made the mistake yesterday on a family trip to go to Red Robin, which Red Robin, let's say they have less money than we do. They've got more seasoned salt than they do dinero in their pockets. The unlimited fries just finally come back to bite them. So, it was bad. So shout out the bartender who was also our waiter. He was definitely hitting on the chicks behind us. I just needed a refill and some more mandarin oranges for my oldest daughter. So congrats. So I still left $10 because it's a hustle out there. I mean, come on. Gas $4 plus. We got another release of Alien Files. Shrep sent the link. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Just maybe they have some renewable energy we can tap into. But speaking of special, we have QB1 Court Eldridge, who is the all-time troll master after a game on social media. I follow all of your comments and talk about it to the boys. You did not leave a stone unturned, my friend, when it came after we demolished the mystery, the Gulf Coast mystery there in Mississippi. So
Correct.
You definitely let that one go. I think I read your quote verbatim on last week's show. So with that being said, Court, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I was going to say I've had a lot of snacks today in sunlight. Treated myself like the house plant that I am. Complicated, but well maintained.
That's good. But when we actually get on the gridiron, we've been lighting folks up. Take out week 1, which is close.
True. It feels weird to just be in the weight room with everybody instead of just dogging it out on the turf, you know, getting
Yeah,
the getting everything in, taking care of ourselves, getting to drink all the water I want,
I noticed that was
stretching.
that massive jug of water that you had just a moment ago on screen.
Don't tell me you drink water unless you bring enough to do that.
So let me start off here. How did you start playing women's tackle football?
Tinder got me.
Social media, the social media queen, trolling
Yeah,
her
yeah.
opponents found
Yeah, I just graduated school and moved to a new town. And, coming from a background of not having too much socializing other than like, being outside and playing sports, I was looking for something to do. And one of the first people I matched with told me about uh, tryouts. And essentially, I ghosted for a hot minute until tryouts. And I haven't left ever since.
So how many years ago was this?
6 years ago now.
So did you get your start with the Tulsa Threat?
I did. I did start with the Tulsa Threat.
Were you a quarterback from the get-go?
No. I was a running back. I was a backup running back and a backup linebacker. But due to catastrophic amount of injuries we sustained our first two games, I found myself at first running back, first linebacker, and QB3, and that was sketchy at best.
So how did you make your way up the depth chart to be QB1 now for the Oklahoma Rage?
Based solely on my game IQ. I mean, I grew up with the game. I played youth league and backyard ball my entire life, and so I knew what I had to do. I didn't have the bodily fortitude to get it done as good as it needed to be done. Nor did all of my teammates at the time. Like we all needed to really get serious about how we were going about playing football. So, working out and getting in the gym really helped me just kind of get better and better. But having my game IQ to start really set me apart.
What were some sports that you played growing up?
I started with soccer, um, probably Bambino T-ball if I really went all the way back. But I mean, I've had my foot in all of it. I love roller derby. Um, Random things like hacky sack and darts.
Let's go.
Never like in school, but like, if it involves any kind of like game, I'm trying to win it.
Just so you know, hacky sack has made a comeback. I don't know.
It has. And you want to know why? Because they aren't letting kids take balls to school anymore. I heard it from the horse's mouth. The 14-year-old told me, "Can I bring your hacky sack to school so I have something to play with?"
I didn't know we
And
made
I
our way back to that, but I like it as a soccer dude, a special teams guy. That builds
yeah,
some hand-eye coordination. It gets you juggling, right?
yeah. It gets you working in groups again, you know?
Let me ask you this. Why do you play women's tackle football? What keeps you going?
I want everyone to be able to get a chance to. Whenever I was in school and trying to play school ball, I didn't really get to figure out my full potential because they kind of made me just stop. Once it got to the point where people were popping my helmet off when they're hitting me and stuff, it was kind of time to hang it up when I was playing with the boys. But I just don't think that has to be a thing. I think that if I wanted to play then, there's a lot more girls now. So, I mean, more girls want to play football than we even think about yet. And they got to have a standard, right? And
100.
so
Yeah,
I'm just going to keep trying to play as good as I can play so that whoever is going to come and do it better, they got something to go off of.
100%. Set that standard. The boys and I have talked about it, and we talked with Commissioner Rod of the AWFL last week about the growth of women's flag football. And now that we see it, in Oklahoma with high schools having it, and Tulsa East Central being state champs, I think the last couple of years. With How do you see that benefiting tackle football and getting more young ladies out to try out for the Rage and join the program?
Uh, this is maybe an unpopular opinion, but I think flag is going to hurt our tackle scene more than it's going to help in the long run. I think the flag kind of gives schools an out, like we're offering flag to girls, it's just non-contact. And it's going to be something that I think if we're going to go that route, we need to make boys play flag football until they're 16 to let their brains fully develop, right? If we're going to talk about contact, unless we're willing to let our girls do the same thing. Now, I think that women's wrestling, however, is actually going to bring more to women's combat sports than flag is right now. You know, you're pitting your daughter out there in a combat situation. You know what I'm saying? And you're betting your girl against their girl, essentially. And you know, that's with physicality and everything. So, and when you look at it, girls wrestling is taking off right now. So I actually think we need to kind of follow that template more than we are following the flag, you know.
Yeah, and women's wrestling has definitely been probably the fastest growing sport in high school sports in Oklahoma and across other
Hmm.
states. It's just the last 3 to 5 years have been huge
Yeah,
um, for
for
that,
sure.
and I agree. The physicality
Yeah.
that young ladies are going to get from that, from women, from
Mm.
wrestling, is going to be a lot more than they're going to
Right.
see.
And
And
you're going to see the mindset in the parents be a little bit different too. You know, they're trusting their daughter with a lot more work and a lot more emotional situations they're going to put themselves in, essentially. You know, flag, I like to think of flag as a good mix between football and basketball. You know, it's out there and it's fun and you're using that football, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you're safe from like cheap shots and things like that. Wrestling, I mean, it's like, I'm not trying to tit for tat it, but I mean, with the flag football, it's coming on so fast. It's almost overshadowing what we've already been doing in our football world. And so it's really, really enlightening for me to see girls doing wrestling and things like that because it's something we are actually like not allowed to do. Like girls are allowed to play flag, adults are allowed to play flag. You know what I mean? Like it's something that's like standard, but like women's wrestling, it's like it's really picking up and the same speed, I think, you know, and like I think the group of parents would be different, you know, as far as like I just remember the talks that I would get whenever I was playing tackle football and the conversations my dad would have to have with other parents. You know, it's just I think you would have different conversations in the women's wrestling world than you would have in the women's flag world about tackle. You know, you bring up tackle to some of the flag teams up here in Tulsa and they're like, I don't want any of that. Nope.
yeah,
They don't they not only not that it's not just the games that they don't want, the contact. They don't want the commitment that it takes for turning your body into a machine. They don't wanna take the 4 practices it takes to move 11 people on one play to move 4 yards at a time and keeping your cool with your teammates to actually get there. It's
mhm.
just a different game altogether. So, I mean, I like to compare the 2, but, I mean, they're nothing alike.
No, and I think that's a good point, is the wrestling aspect, because you also have to think when we're talking about kids, we're really talking to their parents, right?
Yeah,
How are we going to
yeah,
build that capacity for them to be able to understand that this is a combat sport and at any moment there can be serious injury, right? That's just the
mhm,
nature of the game. But
yeah,
I mean, you could get hurt walking down the block to go get an ice
right.
cream cone. Like it just,
Yeah, that's girls and boys both, you know, and like we like to think that men are just supposed to be the ones that go and take that risk every time. But let me tell you, those women are out there asking for the right to have the equal opportunity to take said risk. And
uh,
so it takes women like, you know, like us and coaches like Shrep and Webb to trust all of us to provide that kind of template, right?
yeah.
What it could be.
And I think, two things. One, when we talked to Commissioner Rod last week and laying the framework, I brought up the Canadian team who, got defeated by the New York Knockout pretty soundly. But they do there in Ontario have a youth program. And I think Webb, maybe we talked about the Dallas Lady Prime potentially having some youth programs. And I think that's where it starts is how do you get
Mhm.
people in early, early? And so, yeah, the MIFA team, the all-star team there in Canada that plays in the Northeast Conference in the AWFL, sure, they take some L's, but they're working up a youth program that is eventually going to star on their AWFL team. And so
Mhm.
you have to build that funnel. And so that way, to your point, Court, is if we do have injuries, then we've just got a younger team that we can just build people up into. It's the same thing, take the combat out of it, but it's the same thing. The growth of soccer in Tulsa
Mhm.
and in the state of Oklahoma it starts with academy at ages 4, 5, and 6, and then you work all the way up to the first team by the time you're
Mhm.
16, 17, 18. It's the European model at the end of the day, and you got to follow it, and it benefits.
Mhm.
So that's huge. And also, second thing, in my book that I'm reading, you can go to Spotify and go to audiobooks. The Man Who Saw Seconds. He was talking about in today's, I say episode, but really whatever chapter I was listening to, I was running, how society is an autopilot, and it's hard to accept things that are different than what cruise control will allow your brain to, fathom. So we see football as a male-driven sport, but football is every type of background, right? You get involved with football, you're playing pickup in your yard, you're playing with your siblings, whatever, neighborhood people. Football is so much more than one single gender, right? Football
Mhm.
is a sport that's beloved by the whole world, right? We have to have an outlet for people to play the game that everyone watches and loves, right? This watching the Super Bowl can't be the climax of your football experience, right? It's got to actually be able to get out there and be involved and be part of a team. Because to me, and I'm sure everybody agrees on the show, there's nothing like a football locker room at the end of the day. So, and I just I preach by it. I played soccer at highest levels, and it's not. It was a me driven sport. And when you get in football, sure, you've got a me egos, but you're also a crew, and you're going to stand by each other. So, when you think about strapping it up and going out there to play, who are you really trying to impress and to inspire when you play?
I'm never trying to impress anybody when I play. Um, Anytime I step on the field, I really just try to channel my stepmom, you know? Like, uh, she, uh, she was the first one to kinda give me the opportunity to play, and she's somebody that's never gonna get to see it, you know? Like, she gave me the opportunity whenever I was, what, 8, 9 years old, 10? I can't remember the first age, but she asked my dad if, he was gonna be the first man to limit me, right?
Mhm.
And, he obviously decided that was not gonna be a thing, but if she hadn't asked him that, I might have never got to learn everything I learned and bring it into where I'm at now. So, no, I'm not necessarily playing to impress anybody or do anything but, like, just play the best that I can because she let me, right? So,
100%. Web
yeah.
Shrep, you got some questions for QB1?
Go ahead.
I didn't think I was going to ask you. Let's go. Court, in all the places we've traveled, we get to travel some pretty unique places. Where's been your favorite so far?
It was really cool to go to Seattle this last time. I mean, 10 out of 10 for the stadium, 6 out of 10 for the drive. 10 out of 10 again for the ferry. But like I just like that's where I got out of the Navy. So it was really cool to just go stomping around in the same places I was, just as a completely different person. It was fun and I got to bring all my team there. We got the dub. Um, and it was like it wasn't the same kind of dub that we got in Gulf Coast. But uh so it was just a little easier to celebrate that one. And just be with everybody, just it was kind of as a program where we literally started from the bottom having meet and greets at breweries. Like it was cool to see us all make it across the country with air travel, all but one, which was brave. Across the country, ma'am. She made it.
Made it.
She made it and could still walk. Is impressive. But no, we as a program made it to Seattle, got the dub, handled business, and got all the way back. So it was just super special to see us be able to complete that as a group. Ultimate team effort there.
Yeah, it was fun. Like when we got there, I just hopped off the plane and didn't have a room yet. And then all you said, "Hey, I got the van. Let's go explore." I was like,
Yeah, we just went to the beach.
"Fun, but I'm tired." So we went to touch the ocean and just hang out there, and then went thrifting. That was an interesting experience.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff there, but some good hoodies.
Yeah, yeah.
But the whole 10 out of 10 stadium thing kind of dropped when you had to walk down a mile of stairs. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we found that, or Zach did, the entrance.
Yeah.
You ever been on a good hike? You didn't have to just wonder if you might die on the way there.
No, see, I've been on the multiple hikes, but I don't ever go when I know they're going to be a problem. So
Yeah.
the athlete in me is like, I'll get out of this no matter what. But I also like the lineman in me is like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, but there's also a lineman in you that knows you'll have to eventually.
Yeah, at some
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
like it's like I can get myself out of this at some point. So it's okay to
Just
test.
looking up before, what are some ways out of here? And there's no elevator. All right. And then I hitched the ride up to the top, drove down. And I'm like, we in business now.
I got a question, Tuck. Got one.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Court. What is your top football moment for you personally playing?
You're gonna laugh at me.
I laugh
I
at
slid. I slid. I slid. Ooh, is that just beautiful? That means I can play till I'm 50. Ask Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
just yeah.
too
Yeah.
soon for me.
Yeah.
He
Definitely
says
too
it's
soon for
he
Shrep.
says it's his last year, but that is false. He's just gonna go and get them contracts and go and get them contracts. Who's gonna let me slide in their pocket this year?
Hopefully not the Steelers. Thanks.
It just keeps being Pittsburgh, so it's fine, I guess.
Eventually.
I mean,
No, that was really the highlight though. It's just like I really like to try to just it's not like I try to like be other quarterbacks, but like what else do I have to go off of other than like what I see, right? And so like I see them running perfect 2-minute drills to get the little go ahead field goal to win the game for a little whatever. And then I see, them just not seeing their stuff, running a quick little check down to the running back. And then you see them like, oh, the running back's covered. I'm just gonna go slide. And it was the one thing I hadn't done yet, coach, and I got it. And I
Just
popped right up. I
I
popped right
remember
up.
just so we're clear. She's obviously, you could tell she's not afraid of the contact, so she never slides. And she's like, I'm working on it. I'm gonna slide. And it was River City. And again, now we're up in this game. It's everything's pretty smooth. And she runs for about like 1.5 yards, 2 yards. hits
Hey,
a fly-
from the that's 6 total. We gained 2 yards.
Yeah, we gained 2 yards. So she
So
ran
I didn't lose any,
and
and I slid.
hits the slide, and we all lose it. We're all a 2-yard game. We're all fired up because she slid, and it looked functional. It looked like she meant to do it. It was like it was beautiful.
so Jim Harbaugh once said that the body craves contact. So do you think that's true, Court?
Absolutely. Dad hasn't let me drill for years.
Well, 100%.
Well, yeah, I used to love going to football practice, but now all I get to do is talk to him and play catch. Like, it's honestly, and somebody's got to raise these kids. Anyways, I miss drilling. That's really the fact of it. I really do love contact, and that's why I play football. Like, why would you play football and not like contact? That's my question. And if you're saying that you don't like contact and you're playing football, you're lying to yourself. Get honest.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of like Ron Burgundy from Anchorman. Stay away from the hair and the face, and then we're good when they have
That's what we have a whole helmet,
Well,
chin strap.
I know, but in a pile, anything's possible, my friends. I'm just getting poked right there in the old eyeballs.
That is true.
Yeah, shout out. Well, you would know as
That's
as
super
quarterback.
true. I have been poked in the eyeball. It made me want a visor, but then if something gets in it, how do you get it off?
Yeah, you just got to have a designated somebody that's going to wipe your visor down for you, maybe. Somebody's got the
Mm.
rag. So speaking of hikes, I one time on my honeymoon, we were in Puerto Rico in the only rainforest in America. And my wife decided we were going to go for a hike at the El Yunque National Rainforest. And so she finds a younger couple for us to go into the rainforest with. It's like it's a jungle. Turns out this lady was a underwater model with sharks and was on a shoot. So as you can imagine, as a newly married man, try not to look at a model getting photos taken on the hike. So I took
Not me looking at the sharks.
yeah, I was a big L that day. And also I had to slide on my butt about 4 or 5 times because we'd go up on a big mountain range and have to slide down because it was raining so hard and we lose our footing. So yeah, 2 out of 10 experience there, and also took the L as a new husband that day. How will the world view women's tackle football in 10 years?
In all seriousness, if we don't figure out special teams, not well. But in all seriousness, I think that it will vary by the region, actually. I know that women's football is taking off in Europe a lot faster because they take a lot more comfortability in the thought of women doing things that men do. Quite frankly, there's a documentary about it. I can't remember. It has the Oklahoma City Dolls in it. Do you remember the name, Coach Webb? We got invited to the showing here at the Circle Cinema.
Yeah,
The Hurricanes.
Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes documentary kind of touches on it a little bit. But some of those girls that actually play in those European leagues, when they come to play over here with the WFA, WNSC, the different leagues that we have around here, and they go into like Dick's Sporting Goods and academies, and they kind of get looked at funny when they, oh, maybe we all get looked at funny when we say we play women's football, but it just doesn't happen to them when they go and tell them in their home country, like, I'm here for football cleats or I'm here for this. It's just, I think it's actually going to catch on in Canada and Europe and places like that faster. In Mexico, even Mexico has their own leagues happening right now. I have a few of them on social media. uh, it's just, I think America really just needs to get on the ball with the equity thing with the men and the women's sports. It's like the boys and the girls thing, the back and forth. It will be a lot better in 10 years if we can get on top of that.
And I think what you're talking about is society getting itself out of cruise control and understanding that
Yeah.
identity in sports, there's so many different identities and we all have a relationship with sport. And I agree, having been to Europe, it's just completely different. It's because, again, they have the youth model where they just start so young and they build everybody up in all different types of sports. And
Yes.
so it just becomes second nature to them. I'm excited the AWFL, and we were talking about this before we went live with you, Court, is, when the international select team from the AWFL goes over to play the Berlin Cobra ladies in October 2026 later this year. I mean, that'll be a great experience for the league and for those ladies who go over there and play and represent America in the AWFL. They kind of see how their program is ran, how their community views them, right? I mean, there's going to be
Mhm.
is that cultural exchange is going to be massive as part of that experience. What is going to have to improve for us to make the Emerald Bowl in San Antonio?
We really need to know why we're doing what we're doing. Everybody can tell you, go do this, right? Anybody can tell you, go push her over there. But unless you know exactly why you were doing that as a player, you're not actually going to be effective. Because, what if your job's not there? If you don't know what the end goal of said play is, then you're just going to be sitting there with your hands in your pockets, right? Um, but I think everybody on my team could do better of knowing why we are doing things and not just what we need to do.
Have you envisioned lifting the Emerald Bowl trophy and becoming a national champion?
I don't picture lifting up trophies. That's not something I've ever actually pictured. I do like to picture the looks on all of my teammates' faces after they have accomplished what they set out to do. That is what I look around to do. I think the first time I saw my team lose by 80 points, I looked around at all of their faces and how they looked, and I heard, you know, OKC in the background doing their click, click, boom, and they were all just so happy. And they deserve that win, and I just like I remember yelling at them, I want that so freaking bad for you guys, but I can't give it to you. Like
Mhm.
none of us we have to go get it together, and I'm still waiting on what it feels like to see all of everybody's faces after we make that perfect season. I don't do this for a trophy. I do this for my homies.
Yeah. Shout out our homies. Uh, Oak Park Panthers. You know where I'm at back home. Uh, OPP. Let's go. Let's
Southsaw
go.
Sooners.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, and I think when you think about legacy, right, and when your day does come where you hang up the cleats, yeah, even if you're age 50 and you're doing dark retreats like Aaron Rodgers, what do you hope people remember about you, Court?
I hope that they remember I was somebody that never stopped, no matter what the obstacle was. Right? Like, whether it was time, I've played when I didn't have the time. Whether it's money, I've played without money. Without energy, I've played without energy. I played with no heart in me one season. Um, it's just you're just like, I want everybody to know that no matter what the hell was going on with me, I showed up for everybody else.
100%. Are you hoping that you get an all pro selection?
Yeah, it would be super cool to know or feel like a pro, instead of just like be like one. No, I'm just no, it's definitely something I feel like I was snubbed on in my other league. There were times that I led the entire league in rushing touchdowns from the quarterback position, and they know it. Uh, and yeah, I feel a little snubbed, so it'd be nice to see my name. It'd be nicer to see my team up there, so I can't attend. But yeah, it would be nice to see a little selection.
Because the all pro game, that all pro game, hopefully
It's
you just get the selection and you're not playing in it because just like the Pro Bowl, hopefully
the
you're
same
playing.
day.
It's the same. Just so you
It-
want to be playing in the Emerald Bowl. So,
I just wish they would like think that through. Like, can we just do it a week later? Isn't that what the NFL does?
so
Like,
that way you get a shot to play against
yeah,
everybody.
you just like can go actually play and have a good. It's like trying to cram it all into one day. What y'all scared of paying for the stadium twice?
Yeah. Uh, yeah. You definitely would want to play against some members of the Gulf Coast Mystery or the Hattiesburg Lady Bison.
No, they're not the same. I was assured they're not the same, and that's fine. We'll see.
I had to throw that in there. I was trying to. That
I've
was the
been
next
assured. I've been
play.
assured, and it's fine. If they're not the same, they're not the same. But we'll see. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll see them next season, probably in the regular season. They can come catch us up here at T-Mobile Stadium, and I know that would be nice.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again.
And I can't wait for your
We'll
trolling.
put our reps credentials just right up on a plaque too, so like we don't even have to go through that business. We'll just have that laminated, ready for them to flip through, so everybody knows that we're legit.
And leading up to that game, once we get to that, if it's a rematch or the Lady Bison game, we will definitely post clips of us in the weight room of the entire team, so that we don't have to go through those things again.
We have plenty of clips of us in the weight room already.
Yeah. Shout out. I'm thinking of one particular player who I definitely saw you comment maybe against them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she said that she had made this one teammate of mine her B word the whole game, and that is just not true. What I don't like is fake news. And I'll even like if you see me posting some crazy on Facebook, it's fake. Tell me. But usually you got community footnotes that give you a little heads up. See what? That's fake news. Like I have never seen a player get dogged more and talk ever in a game. It was like one play, it was Manning. One play, it was somebody else. She had 3 fade balls caught over her head. And how many touchdowns in her face? Best athlete on the field. So that's what she said in her post, and that's what was fake news.
Well, yeah, we definitely should community notes her. We'll put that out to the faithful and Oklahoma Rage family. You can report Facebook. Please do that for Court and justice for the Rage. Justice. For the hashtag.
We need no justice. We got our justice.
Scoreboard 3.5 quarters was all it took. Golly. Okay, let me ask you this question. Some fun questions. If there was a women's Run Nation competition, Run Nation, have you seen that? Where people just run
where they just run into each other? Yeah. The CTE Bowl?
Would you do it?
Would I do it?
You crave contact, Court.
I would do it. I would do that. I would absolutely do that.
Well, I know for a fact she would do it.
That's actually wild to think that I wouldn't do that.
What is your minimum that you hope to win from that? I mean, you gotta get like $5,000.
I mean, to get paid to do any contact would be cool. I mean, like right now I'm doing it for a twin size hotel bed, and sometimes the pool's cold. Well, no, sometimes they do have a decent breakfast, but we don't get paid. We pay to do this, so any kind of monetary like exchange would be good. I think a number in my head would be 2K right now, just because that's just a number.
She fits right in. She can join the team, women's division.
Let's go. I would definitely have to do 20 for me, 20K.
Thanks.
But if there's weight classes, there's got to be weight.
There's got to be weight classes. There's no way.
I'm not lining up and looking at a big old offensive lineman like Webb coming at me. I'm like, oh, if this is it, mama. Bye. Oh,
that's why we have helmets.
Yeah. They don't need helmets in Run Nation.
Well, weight classes though. Weight classes.
Oh yeah, weight classes. So what do you do what is your 9 to 5 then? What's your job? How do you make Court?
Well, I used to be an avionics technician. I don't think that I'm not anymore, but I'm just not currently doing that right now. I was doing it in the Navy. I did it for a while on the civilian side, and right now I've just had a little change of life where I'm doing bonus parenting. It's fun. It's just as much work, but like less alone time, right? Like you don't really get a lot of time to yourself whenever you're doing any kind of parenting. It's complicated, it's weird, and at times it's demeaning, but it is very rewarding. One day I'll be a career lady again, but I really spend most of my time taking care of these boys and my dogs and my team. It's actually been a blessing. I've been able to do a lot more football.
100%. So did you join the Navy right out of high school?
No, not right out of high school. It was right around the housing crash of 2008. No, No, but work was low. I was an electrician for a while right out of high school. Tried my hand at college up at NSU, and it was not for me because I had no personal discipline at the time. Uh, but I did electricianing. I got laid off, joined the Navy, and went on a big side quest. Ended up back here.
Life is full of side quests.
Yes,
Yeah,
I-
Tuck is full of side quests.
I'm
I
full of
live for side quests.
I'm full of side quests. I have this whole book just full of side quests that I'm like, hey, can I actually make money from doing that? Can I make that work? You know, it's life is opportunity cost, right? If I do X, what happens to Y that I don't focus on? But
Right.
yeah, how do you get up like after a long game, like flying out and playing in Tacoma, you know, and how do you get back and to adjust to the kids and you're worn out? How do you balance playing football and helping raise kids?
It's really hard. It first things first, you gotta drink water. Like bare minimum. If
Yeah.
you don't do anything, you gotta drink your water, especially after a hard game. Obviously you're beat up, you're gotta check your finances, your bank account's low, you come back, all the animals are stressed out, they all need love, you need ice. It's a it's a push and a pull. um, but you just start ticking it off, one thing off the list at the time. If you can make a frozen pizza, on the afternoon, and so you got some time to make an actual dinner. It's you kind of give and take. You don't eat out every night, but sometimes you gotta grab the Brahms on your way home because it's already 9 o'clock when you're heading back, and it's the only fast food place the boys can eat. It's like um, you just have to kind of find a way, right? And everybody's way looks a little different. Um, some people have it a lot harder trying to juggle the family and the football life and things like that. Um, I've had struggle most of my life, so right now everything feels pretty easy.
That's awesome. I know you've been, killing it on the gridiron for the Rage, and we've got hopes of the Emerald Bowl coming up, but we got the big game coming up on June 6th against the Dallas Lady Prime. What do you say to Rage Nation to help motivate them to get out there to Inola to T-Mobile Stadium to cheer you on?
It is worth it to see us in person. Come, like, see the fog coming off of our heads after half when the lights are on to see how much work we're putting in this. Like, you cannot hear our pads pop on the live stream. If you are, like, just sitting around, need something to do, it's summertime now, like, come listen to us hit each other. Like, listen to how real we are about this. Like, I cannot stress it enough. It is different when you see us in person. It makes it a lot more real, and no live stream will ever do it justice. Um, like, ticket prices go the farthest for helping our program. um, I can't really stress that enough. Like, it's like we have to pay for every stadium. So Rage Nation, we need Rage Nation to show up all the way. If we had all of our followers, or even just a quarter of our followers, show up to our game, it would set us up for next year. That's the kind of thing I'm stressing about right now. So yeah, if we could see an equal show up in person as we have, I know, out there on the interwebs, it would really be helpful.
100%. Come out $10 if you're 10 or under. It's free. Get some merch. We got some great merch for the Rage. Come out there and support the ladies as we take on the Dallas Lady Prime on June 6th. Can't wait for that to happen there at T-Mobile. Court, thanks for joining us on Rage Bait.
Tuck, you got one more.
Got one more?
The final question you have to ask every guest. What's making her rage out?
Okay. What's making you rage out?
So I've been playing PlayStation 3 for the last 12 hours straight or so of my spare time. And I gotta say that what's making me mad right now is that the games nowadays, you just don't own them anymore. Not really. You own what you think of that game. And you know what? When you get off of your 12-hour shift and you're like, yeah, I'm going to play Call of Duty Black Ops 11 for 4 hours when I get off. Hell no, you're not, because you got a 12-hour update, son, and your network doesn't support the update time that you have set aside for your Xbox scenes. You know what I can do with my PlayStation 3? I can walk over to it, I can turn it on, and I put a disc in. Because I paid $10 for that disc 8 years ago.
Shout out GameStop. Google GameStop and
No. Vintage stock.
Vintage
I'm a
stock.
vintage stock. Yeah.
I stand corrected. Vintage stock, which is still around.
It is 3 locations in Tulsa. We got Broken Arrow, we got Owasso, and we have right down the road here, South Tulsa. Sponsor me.
There you go.
You
There
guys
you
keep
go.
my retro games going.
You know what? Yeah, Webb, I'm so glad you remember that question because I'm with you on that. I feel the same way about like streaming apps for
Yeah.
all these movies.
Mhm.
I've talked about this before, but I've got like totes and totes of VHSs and DVDs. I need to bring them out for my kids because my problem is when we go to the streaming apps, they see something I don't want them to watch, and they're like, then they'll just start screaming bloody murder to watch
Mhm.
that show, and I'm like, no, we're
Yeah.
not watching this Baby John show. And
Yeah.
I always call it Little John show because I just imagine like Little John as a cartoon child popping up and being like, yeah. So
Yeah, I'd never seen Emily's Boys sit through an entire movie without getting distracted or going to a different video or doing whatever until they got effectively banned off YouTube. And we have a VHS TV, and he sat and he loves the Mighty Ducks.
oh, that's a great one.
Dude,
Talk
I'm
about
telling
teamwork.
you, it is just
I love
it's
the Mighty
it's
Ducks if you watch
it's
it.
turned his whole life around. I'm telling you.
I
Coach
love
Bombay.
Going old
Push
school.
Ducks fly together. Never forget that.
Quack.
Quack, quack, quack. Imagine if we got a quarter of our followers on social, just our
Yeah.
followers, not the engagement that we get, especially when Shrep has the Gulf Coast Mystery final score meme, a fraud alert, go out. That got numbers. That got numbers. So
Believe it.
just imagine ducks fly together. Everybody's just like quack, quack, quack out of Ninola. You're definitely going to get people like who are hunters being like, what are we looking for?
Nah, but if we could please save the quack quack for next year when the Lady Bison come up, that would be great.
Well, I didn't expect
Please hold your quacks.
I didn't expect anything different. You brought the fire. We appreciate you and what you do, not only for our team in the Rage, but for women's tackle football in general. That is QB1 Court Eldridge. Thank you for joining us on Rage Bait, and we will see you at the regular season finale on June 6th in Inola against the Dallas Lady Prime. We'll catch you next time.